Okay.
We're here at Money Matters in America with a very, very exciting guest, Swami Ram. Swami is an individual who has the wherewithal and the power to change your life. I'm so excited about him, so impressed by him. He blends the pragmatic aspects of life with spirituality in the exact blend of success and spiritual integrity. Swami, welcome. How are you today, sir?
All right. Very nice to be here, Stephen, and Money Matters and you, and with great love and great respect. I'm happy to be able to talk to your audience.
Well, if you would tell our audience, what can you do? Let's assume that I am a business person or just a successful individual. What could you do to make my life better?
Well, the purpose of this, the knowledge that I use and that I study and I use practically to help teach. I'm a teacher at heart. Is to teach people how to be successful, how to be happy in life. And a lot of times we go to temples, we go to churches, and we still come back with the same problems.
Yes.
A lot of time we go to seminars and speeches and others, and we still have the same problems. My ideas and my teaching ideas teach people and guide them how to balance their life, to be able to enjoy the fruits and the prosperity of their earnings and their wealth,
Yes.
as well as become close to God.
That's interesting. So your philosophies are in the real world and the spiritual realm at the same time.
Right, well, that's the balance that we need, because if you're too spiritual, then you lose the material. And if you're too material, you lose the spiritual.
Well, that's so refreshing because so many teachers, philosophers, religious leaders are one-dimensional. They think about the spiritual aspect of life, and you should live in a hair shirt and have poverty. On the other side, you have the maros of life who have taken everything and given nothing back, and they lack any form of humanity or spirituality. So I'm excited about, for my audience, that you're blending the real world with the spiritual world. You're living in two dimensions, really.
Well, that's what happens. If we lose this balance, this equilibrium of the universe, we suffer or we become too greedy.
Yes.
In Maharaj's case, he went one way, and of course now he's going to have a chance to look at the other side of his life while he's in prison.
Yes, for sure.
So God has a very unique way of protecting us from our own selves sometimes. And so, and he teaches lessons as we go along. So if you become too spiritual, for example, you lose your money, you lose your practicality in terms of owning assets and so on. Then you say, oh, I wonder why. You know, I'll tell you this interesting story. There was once an argument between light and darkness. Light said, well, you know, I'm very important because when I'm in the man's life, he has a lot of wealth and prosperity, and he's happy. So darkness said, no, that's not true. I'm more important because when I take away his wealth, he starts to pray. And so they had an argument, so they went to the angel Gabriel. So the angel had to settle it. So he says, well, you know, darkness and light, walk and come back over there. They go there and walk and come back, and he says, you know, light, you're very special, but only when you're coming. And darkness, you're very special also, but only when you're going. Now, why is darkness more important when it's going? It's because when the man has lost his wealth and is in darkness, he's learned a lot more in life.
Interesting.
So he's able to earn better. So the argument with light is a very interesting argument. And Job went through that. If you look at the story of Job in the Bible,
Yes.
he also went through the period where he didn't know, he was a good guy, he was very devoted to the Lord, but he still lost everything. And the reason why is because he was being tested. So we all go through this test if we don't balance ourselves.
Well, tell me about your books. You're such a prolific author. What is the Life Code about?
Well, Life Code takes your birth and puts you in what you call a lifeline. Now, if you travel, let's take this lifeline to be a road.
Yes.
If you're traveling on a road, you can exit whenever you want, or you can continue on the expressway as you want. However, if there are no signs on those exits, you wouldn't know where to come out. Now, my job is to put the sign on the exit, on the road, which is the road of your life. So I'm telling you where to exit and where not to exit. So you know exactly what to do to make your life longer, make your life more prosperous, and make your life more happy.
Let me share something with our audience, if I could directly. Swami Ram has such great technology which is so powerful that can help you live a happier and more productive life. And I want to put it in very practical terms, because most of us are unfamiliar with this type of energy and spirituality. It is a blend of many things that we think we understand. I'm going to give it a layman's term of astrology, numerology, things that we've learned to believe in. So this is not some far out process. These are practical things that you can do to have and enjoy and keep and spend more money. And at the same time, do some good things for the world. You know, Swami, one of the great people out there, Joel Osteen, talks about random acts of kindness. And that's what Swami believes in. He believes in not just making himself more wealthy, but making the world a better place.
Making the world a better place.
Yeah, so tell me, Swami, well, let's assume now that I'm a businessman, and I have a business, and I'm somewhat successful, but I'd like to achieve more, and I'd like to share some of that wealth with the rest of the world. Give me a simple technique that you might recommend to a business person, or a way he might understand himself better.
Well, that's the idea also. Before I address it, the depth of your question, the main thing is that you have to realize that helping the world is what it's all about. No man is an island.
Yes.
Everyone is connected. And it's when a man sells a house, he's not just selling a house, he's sheltering people.
Yes.
When a man is a taxi driver, he's not just taking passengers, he's transferring souls from one end of the universe to the next.
Interesting.
Right. When a man, for example, is a refrigerator repairman,
yes.
I want to take something simple, he's providing cool and fresh food to the world.
Yes.
So if the way you look at your job, look at your business, is going to be the key to putting forward your products to the world. What is the difference between your hardware store, your little hardware store in the corner, and Home Depot in the next corner? Because you might be able to provide service that will help the world in a better way.
We call that, by the way, a USP, a unique selling proposition.
Yes.
Unless you have a differential advantage or a USP, you can't be successful. So you're sharing with me that one of your philosophies is to help me find my unique strengths, what I really do, and stand out in a crowd as to just to be another hardware store, so to speak.
Right. So people will see your hardware store before they see the Home Depot.
I see.
And so what happens now to do that, there are some practical things which you asked about just now for me to do. And that is to make sure that the number of the building is correct.
Right.
To make sure that the day that you open the business is a good day. You know, we have summer, winter, spring. Every day has a summer, winter, spring of business. So you have to make sure you open in the spring of any business period. And then you have to make sure the name is correct, because the name rings a tone like music.
Yes.
It affects the very, very foundation of ourselves. And so every vibration rings a certain tone. So the name of your business is going to be very important. And when you start, and also how honest and how well you are working towards this business.
So let's see if I can summarize. In the world of marketing, we think the name is very important. Look at a brand like Pepsi-Cola. It's been estimated that that name is worth $500 billion because it is just universally known. We've talked about how you can be unique and how that's important. And you've also shared something very quickly, which is that you have to deliver. You know, the universe is not going to reward you if you take advantage of people. So I think, if I'm hearing you properly, one should under-promise and over-deliver. And therefore people will have a favorable viewpoint of you as a business person.
Yes, and if you take a good survey or statistic on this, you'll find that people who are dishonest usually ends up losing the money.
Interesting.
And people who do it honestly keeps the money for the rest of their life. So the whole idea now also is that you have to understand that when the man, for example, the real estate guy, he's sheltering people, he will not say, okay, Steve, look, just buy this house, it's a good buy. If he knows it's your home, what he will do is he will say, Steve, look, there's something wrong with the gutters, we'll fix it. There's something wrong with the pipes, we'll fix it. Now that's sheltering people.
Isn't that interesting? You know, my audience, it's really fascinating because Swami Ram is doing things naturally that we all study at the Wharton School and Harvard, et cetera. That's called consultative selling, by the way. Consultative selling means that you do the right thing for your prospect or customer or client, which means if I believe you should buy this house, I'll move heaven and earth to motivate you because I'll know you have a happy life. And conversely, as you said, if it's on a foundation of sand or it has termites, or I'm not going to let you buy that house. Then God's going to reward me because I'm passing on positive energy.
Positive energy.
Very, very interesting. And tell me about in someone's personal life. Let's go away from business for a second. Let's say I'm talking about finding that soulmate, that perfect mate in my life. How might you advise me? 3 ladies come into my life, or 3 gentlemen come into a lady's life. How do we know who's the best person for us?
First of all, you have to remember all of us are unique. We all have different fingerprints.
Yes.
So we all mix differently. Now, if you take a drop of lemon and you put it in a glass of milk, you know what happens?
Yes.
It curdles.
Yes.
So in relationships, when 2 people come together, they come together in what you call a mixture, in a chemistry.
Yes.
And if that chemistry is not correct, then it curdles. So through your birth date, which is called a life code, we are able to assess exactly if you match or not. Now, let's say you do have a match, and the match comes out to like number 18. And this might sound something from the Bible, but it's from the Bible.
Yes.
The number 18 is also the number of 666,
Yes.
which is 18, which means that relationship will be disrupted. Someone will get sick in a relationship, someone will die. So the whole idea is that we are able to know that ahead of time, so we can do something to correct that.
You know, Swami, if this sounds a little far off my audience, we have to remember that 10 years ago, people didn't understand chromosomes and genes and how it programs your life. So you're really talking about spiritual programming as much as genetic programming that we have in chromosomes and genes. And, you know, if you would have discussed chromosomes and genes and mapping out the DNA, we would have thought you were crazy 20 years ago. And I think you're ahead of your time because your life code is helping people predict how their life could work better. And the book is available at Barnes & Noble. It's available. And what's your website address to you?
It's swamiram.com. You go to swamiram.com, it's swamiram.com. And you can also call us at 305-386-0308 in Miami.
Could you say that number again?
305-386-0308 is where your audience can reach me. And going back to that relationship thing, spirituality, you mentioned spirituality, but there's a difference between spirituality and religion. Religion is out of fear, because you fear of going to hell.
Yes.
So you pray because you want to go to heaven.
Yes.
Spirituality is not that. Spirituality is when you understand your life, you understand your purpose for being here, and you understand why you're married to this person. Who are you? Where you come from? Why are you here? That's spirituality. Now, spirituality might appear like magic maybe 20 years ago, but spirituality is today's meditation and yoga and so on. Can you imagine 20 years from now what spirituality will look like? It will look like science.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they say that when the student is ready, the teacher will arrive. And for my audience, I hope you're ready, because this man has power, he has a heart, he has a spirit, he has a soul, he's caring. He's not money motivated, but money seems to gravitate to him. So you're looking at a very special person here, and I would advise you, if you'd like to live a better life, a happier life, if you'd like to have more of the good things in life, and you'd like to share that with others, this man has a power and a capability that is not to be believed. And over the next several months, you're going to be hearing so much about this man. I predict you'll be reading about him in the New York Times and Fortune magazine. You'll be seeing him on TV, on my show and other shows. Swami, before we wrap up today, give us just one more nugget of wisdom. If you were sitting here with my son or my daughter or my best friend, what might you say to them just simplistically that would let them live a happier, more productive life?
Well, the main thing I would say to them is to find out their true nature. Through the life code, they can do that. Once they'll find out their true nature and purpose, then they will never have suffered in this world. One of the two things that I do tell people to avoid, generally, to make their life happy, is to avoid red meat and black clothes.
Interesting.
And the reason why is because red meat is your own meat. When you're a baby, you drink milk, so you care for the cow. So when you eat red meat, you're eating yourself.
Wow.
It's like throwing steel, liquid steel in the car engine. It wouldn't work. And then another thing also that's important is black clothes, because when you wear black clothes, you tend to lessen the light that hits you. And black has never been the color of our world until some of the major religions got split up, and some of the unwelcome religions came into our scene. Well, people were always dressed in the ancient Jerusalem. People were always dressed in white and nice colors. Now you see people in Jerusalem and other places dressing in black and so on, and that part of the world is dark.
Interesting.
So we try to avoid the color black because we don't want. Nothing wrong with having a black sofa maybe, but not clothes.
I see.
Because your body depends on light, which is vitamin D and so on.
Well, I think what you see, my audience, is someone who has superior skills, superior knowledge, has great insights, and Swami Ram has talked about how we're all linked together. And there's a very famous quotation I'd like to end our show on today, which is very apropos for the Swami. And that translates into something like the following. When I don't know who I am, I serve you. But when I do know who I am you. We're all connected. This man has the wherewithal, he has the power, the intelligence. I want to motivate you to get in contact with this man and get part of his wisdom, and then pass that wisdom on to the rest of the world. Any last minute comments, Swami?
Well, with great love and great respect, I welcome your audience to this kind of thinking. It is a little bit different from what we've been used to, but maybe that's what we need in the coming 2012 cycle that's going to start, the New Age cycle, which starts in 2012. This kind of thinking and consciousness is needed because so far it hasn't helped our world for the last 1,000 years. So this new thinking, this new kind of way, people need to connect with it, and it doesn't cost that much, it doesn't require that much of effort. A little bit of effort to get the book, they can do that, and they can go to my website, it's free. There's no charge for looking at your life and your personality. This stuff is very accurate, and I hope that everybody can use it practically to help make the world a prosperous world.
I guess my last comment, being it's my show and I can end the show, is Swami Ram does not demand money when people get a chance to meet with him. He lets people make their own contributions. I'm so impressed with that. Because I get very fearful when someone says, and if you see me, my fee is $3,000 for an hour or a day. This man has great knowledge. Take advantage of it. Swami, just to end up the show, give us your phone number again and give us your website, real slowly if you would, sir.
Okay, the phone number is 305-386-0308 or 305-232-7010. The website is Swami Ram, SWAMIRAM.com. And the emails are there. You can send me an email. You're welcome to send me an email if you wish. And again, with great love and great respect, I welcome all of you.
Thank you so much, Swami. Have a wonderful day, sir. Thank you, my friend. Perfect.